Hello class, this is the third video on creating C programs using Visual C++ Express. The first video was responsible for designing the program, and the results of that video was a flowchart, which is the solution of the problem. The second video was responsible for creating this project called P1 and adding both a header file and a C++ file. In the header file, this is where we include any libraries we might need for special functions in C language, and also where the two variables that we're going to need in our solution. We continued on to the C++ file. This is where we have to include our header file, and this is where we will write the main procedure. If you remember, console applications operate step by step. So we will use the solution as a guide on what commands to use in C language for each step. Step I, initialization. First, we will initialize our variables that we have created to 0. This is good standard practice in writing programs, so that all information that you use in your program starts with a known value. Then, using the printf command, we will display a welcome message. After we display the welcome message, we will ask the computer to go to the next line. Now, we will go through these three commands. Complete those three commands. First, we will ask the user to enter number, and I like to put a nice little arrow with a space to direct the user on where to type. After this, the program will start scanning the keyboard for a number, and it will wait until it receives the number after the user press enter. So this part of the scanf is responsible for waiting for a float number to be entered from the keyboard. Enter means the user must type the number and then press the enter key. Once the enter key has been pressed, C language will then take the number that's entered and save it wherever we choose here. And we're choosing it to save it into the number1 variable. So we basically have asked the user for the information, scanned the keyboard for the value, and then save the value in the number of our choice. Now you must think, this is a program. The number that will be saved here will be determined by what the user types. So this is an interactive program, which means the program operates based on user input. Assuming that the number has been saved, number1 now has a value, which means we can start the calculation process. We will use number2 to save the results of our calculation. We're going to use the square root command in the math library. What happens here is the number will be moved here, and the math library will calculate the square root of that number. Then this symbol tells C program to take the results of that calculation and assign it to this number, which means number2 will become the actual value of the square root of number1. In the next video, I will demonstrate how to print the results on the console.